Let's change tact, BQ. In the wake of another wave of mass abductions of school children, Trump's repeated claim that it would bomb militant camps. You remember it's going to be fast, vicious, and in his mouth, sweet. If he were in power, has reignited debate about foreign intervention in Nigeria's security crisis. Do you think external military pressure, whether from the US, Donald Trump's US, or allied nations, could meaningfully deter banditry and terrorism in Nigeria, or would it complicate the crisis further?
You know, it depends on the extent to which they go. I believe that we have not done enough to deal a mortal blow to these non-state actors, especially the bandits. We have not done enough. This is my view. And it is because we have not shown the political will to declare a total war, the kind of war that could last months, focusing on the contiguous states, blocking all exit points. This is what I had canvassed for years, but we have chosen to adopt the piecemeal bombing approach, whereby today you just bomb a fraction of these guys at a location, announce that you are going to another location on another day, which enables them to quickly leave that location so that by the time you drop bombs, you have only wasted your time. The post-operation assessment, when conducted, will show that you didn't really kill many people. And you have, in fact, wasted bombs and rockets, which are extremely expensive. Some of those bombs cost in excess of 12,000 euros, for example, just one bomb. And the rockets, too, they are very expensive. They are all produced abroad and brought to our country. So, for me, a I do not want to see foreign troops, a foreign air force, drop bombs on my country. What I've always wanted is for us to benefit from partnership with these people, let them help us. Kuwait did not push Iraqi troops out of his country all by itself. The Allied forces came together under the leadership of the US and the great war commander, Norman Schwarzkopf, the late Norman Schwarzkopf, and they successfully pushed Iraqi troops out of Kuwait that they had annexed. So I want to see, I'm not asking for the same kind of scenario which will see boots on ground in our country, but I believe that Americans can help us. Their air force is the best in the world. They are very effective. They can carpet bomb these bandits away from their camps. I'm sure they will have located their camps now and push them, away from those places, help us exterminate them. If they work with Nigerian troops, they will achieve even much greater success than to unilaterally come here, drop bombs here and there and leave. And it could cause collateral damage. It could even lead to innocent lives being lost. That is why we do not want to see that. A lot of innocent lives were lost in Vietnam when America went to Vietnam, to launch a war. In those days, B-52 bombers flying at high altitude, dropping bombs. They didn't
Yeah.
achieve profound accuracy because at high altitude, maybe about 50,000 meters, into the sky, you can achieve accuracy,
Precision.
yeah,
Yeah.
and precision. You end up killing innocent people. So that is what we don't want to see. I believe that the Nigerians and the Americans, the armed forces of both countries, and the leaders of both countries can work together to make this happen. Now, the Nigerian government sent a high power delegation led by the NSA, no Ribadu, to go and address the narratives, the false narratives and misleading narratives that suggest religious persecution of Christians, that suggest that 89% of Christians martyred around the world are from Nigeria, and that suggests government openly backs the killing of Christians in Nigeria. This is a most dangerous piece of falsehood to say the Nigerian government, our president married to an ordained pastor, would be encouraging the killing of Christians. It's absolute nonsense. And even during the congressional hearing on Nigeria, we had some of them say some startling things. I was shocked. So, but that's the extent to which people have been brainwashed, the extent to which even Donald Trump had been brainwashed about Nigeria. I've been led to believe so many things about Nigeria that you and I know are not true. So the delegation went to say, look, there's no government hand in the killing of Christians. And they met, the delegation met the Secretary of War, who used to be Secretary of Defense, members of the U.S. Congress, State Department officials, and other stakeholders. And their mission was to show the full context of the security situation that we have found ourselves in our country, and show that Nigeria actually needs help rather than what it is going through today. They also went there and show evidence-based information about Nigeria's security situation, the counterinsurgency progress that we have made, and the interagency coordination that is going on, so that the Americans can see that it's not as if we are not making efforts. We are making efforts. Yes, we have to agree that our efforts are not good enough at this stage. But what I see is that in spite of their efforts, in a week in which they've met critical stakeholders in the US, trying to put down this tension between both countries, trying to put the record straight, trying to show that a lot of these things they are saying about Nigeria is dangerous falsehood. The president of the US appears to have even hardened his position and is insisting that Nigeria, in fact, let me quote him, said, Nigeria is a disgrace. The whole thing is a disgrace. They are killing people by the thousands. It's a genocide, and I'm really angry about it. They are killing people by the thousands. In our country, or is it a different country that we are talking about here? People being killed in thousands in Nigeria? Where? Where? You know, so my concern is the way governments, a lot of these people in the US have been led to believe that Nigerian government was even part of the killings. And when people have this notion, there is nothing that the government can say that they will be impressed about. There's nothing the government can say that will really that they will believe. How do you believe that the government of Nigeria has a hand in the killing of Nigeria? And you see, Nigerian officials are saying, look, there's a lot of killings going on. We agree. But it cuts across the different faiths. And the problems of Nigeria are so complex that you cannot simply pin it. The security situation in our country is complex. You can't simply pin it on so-called persecution and genocidal acts against people of a particular faith. So this is where we find ourselves. Trump yesterday was still on this matter. And he was now boasting that, okay, that they'll give a lot of aid to Nigeria, there are a lot of subsidies to Nigeria, they are going to cut that. And he still thinks that we are, as a country, that we are a disgrace. So Trump's views have not changed. That is the unfortunate thing about this whole thing, despite the fact of our powerful delegation going to that country to set record straight. The president of the
That's
U.S.
right.
has not really changed his opinion about us. He still thinks that we are a shithole
Yeah.
of a nation. He thinks that we are a disgrace as a people, as a nation. He thinks that the government has a hand. The government is complicit. The government is involved in the
That's right.
killing of its own people.
That's right.
This is
Uh,
this is absolutely
yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Mikhail, look, let me take one comment or two or three. Grace Yusuf says, foreign help, my food, please. They will bomb our forests today and our own resources tomorrow. We've seen this movie in Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan. Hassan Isiaku says 300 children in 1 week, and some people are still defending sovereignty. If we can't protect our own kids, maybe we need external pressure. Jamal Peter says Trump is not trying to protect Nigeria, he's playing global strongman politics. We should not allow our insecurity to become somebody's presidential campaign prop. Um, the real Oluwaseyi Lawa says the real terrorists are not just the ones holding guns. They include insiders benefiting from ransom money and illegal mining. Airstrikes won't solve a business model. If you look at the United States Congresswoman, before Trump started making all these funny comments, there was Scott Perry, and now this Congresswoman during the hearing, Sarah Jacobs. She described as reckless President Donald Trump's military threats to Nigeria over alleged Christian genocide. Excuse me. According to her, pinning Nigeria's violence solely on religious conflict fails to capture the full picture. And this is making allusion to what one Nigerian, by a scholar who was at the hearing, Ugo something, you know, when she said that the American government is oversimplifying this by, saying that it's Christian genocide, whereas so many people are being killed. And this is the same US that Trump has boasted of sending bombs, missiles to Israel, killing over 20,000 children. That's minus more than 200 journalists directly targeted by Israel, with Americans sending them bombs. How do you react to this double standard and the level of hypocrisy by the US government over the Nigerian situation?
Yes, it's real double standard. America continues to harm Israel to threaten its neighbors. Yes, it was unfortunate that Hamas killed some Christians, some Israelis,
Yeah, some
you know.
particulars, yeah.
Yes, but Israel has responded by killing more than 60,000 Palestinians for the killing of a little less than 2,000 Israelis. They've killed more than 60,000 in return, including direct attacks on journalists that have led some journalists from Al Jazeera dead. So, and US is never seen to condemn such killings. It's double standard. And Donald Trump clearly is behaving the way George Walker Bush behaved at that time when they were looking for a pretext to attack Iraq and claimed that Saddam Hussein was manufacturing deadly chemical weapons, to use against the Kurds in northern Iraq. It was because they badly wanted a regime change, because people mocked the senior Bush, George Bush. They mocked him that, oh, you claim that you won the war, but Saddam still stands. So immediately George Walker Bush, the son, came to power. The first thing he said during his meeting with his staff was that there has to be a regime change in Iraq. And he proceeded to come up, he came up with a fake intelligence report that indicated that Saddam had acquired chemical weapons with the aim of using it on his own population. And this was the pretext upon which America invaded Iraq. it was a personal thing, personal ego issue, because the senior Trump was taunted, and he couldn't get a second term in office because Bill Clinton constantly said, yes, you claim that you won the war, but Saddam still stands. So they felt that they had an unfinished business in Iraq, and George Walker Bush came. The job that his father couldn't finish, he decided to finish it by lying against Saddam Hussein that he had acquired chemical weapons. When they got into Iraq, they couldn't find any evidence to show that indeed chemical weapons had been stockpiled in that country. But they achieved their aim of coming into that country, forcing a regime change, and eventually putting Saddam Hussein on trial. He was eventually executed. So it is similar to what's going on in our country, what America is trying to do with our country. These narratives are false. Yes, a lot of Christian communities in the north central of our country have been attacked repeatedly by criminal headsmen, but a lot of it have nothing to do with religion. In fact, a lot of the criminal headsmen that you see do not belong to any faith. They are animists. Find out. A lot of them are animists. They don't worship God. They are not Christians. They are not Muslim. So to say that they are like jihadists, to say that bandits are jihadists is absolutely meaningless. The bandits who operate in those areas, they don't do it because of religion. They don't do it because of religion. And we've seen bandits kill hundreds of people who are Muslim. I remember the day in 2014 or so, the day one day when President Jonathan went to campaign in Katsina State, more than 120 people were killed by bandits in one day, in one community. Apparently, they came to avenge the killing by vigilantes of some of their men. The same thing happened in Gobir, in Sokoto State, roughly almost 2 years ago, where they flattened the community. Flatten the community because vigilantes attack their men. So they are ready to kill hundreds, whether they are Muslim or not. They don't care. They don't care. It's a classic battle between herdsmen and farmers. There's a real conflict that leading to loss of lives, and it has nothing to do with religion. I'm not saying everything is totally unrelated to religion, but an overwhelming majority of the cases that we've had, both in the north central and the northwest, where a lot of these killings take place, and even in the northeast, where Boko Haram's killing campaign is going on, has nothing to do with religion. They went to Goza the other day to kill people. Who are the people killed? Largely Muslim.
Yeah.
Because Borno State is overwhelmingly Muslim. And in Borno State alone, the Boko Haram must have killed more than 20,000 people over the years. And more than 95% of such people are not even Christians. Apart from a few local government in southern Borno. Borno is overwhelmingly Muslim.
Yeah.
So this is what they do not tell some of these people. Those who are at war against our country are trying to cause so much problem by lying against our country, promoting the very dangerous propaganda that is capable of even dividing us as a people.
Unfortunately, before we started the program, I saw on Instagram on the one of the Muslim Islamic pages on Instagram of the Amir. Amir is the leader of MSSN, Muslim Student Association of Nigeria, was said to have been kidnapped in Kebbi and was killed afterwards. And that happened earlier today. So that's also an example. People are arguing, they are fighting that. I mean, yeah, they were angry rather that this would not make the blogs, this will not make the news. You know, it's just like there's this selective, like blaming journalists for not reporting when we have attacks. The attack in Casina, where about 58 people were killed, you know, just a few months ago, didn't make
In
the
the
front
mosque,
page. And
in a mosque,
when it happens,
in a
exactly,
no,
it didn't
but
make the
of
front
course,
page. And
it make when bandits attacked the mosque in Katsina and killed about 50 people. Of course, it made front page, and even the presidency was outraged. So these things happen. Mosques are attacked in Niger, in Katsina, and innocent Muslims who are there for prayers get killed. So it is irresponsible to promote the notion that, oh, killings in our country are largely, the most Christians are the largely the victims of killings in our country. It depends on where it happens. Where it happens in the northwest, that is predominantly
yeah,
Muslim. Where it happens in Katsina, in Zamfara, in even some parts of Kaduna, you can be sure that the majority of the people killed, 99% of them will be Muslim. Where it happens in Borno State, you can be sure that majority of the people killed, an overwhelming majority will be Muslim. So it all depends on where the violence takes place.
that's right.
This is the fact that they are not addressing because
That's
they
right.
know little or nothing about our country. Whatever they are saying are things that they harvested from social media and what they hear some irresponsible and unpatriotic analysts on TV talk about. And a lot of them are happy now because this thing has been politicized, is now weaponized by politicians who are desperate to seize power, and they are looking for
I
Trump
hope the
to
chicken will not
assist
come up
them
too.
to achieve their
Yeah.
aim of regime change. That is why the chairman
Mm,
of a party can be calling on
yeah.
Trump to come and save democracy in our country.
Very, very responsible thing to do.
Trump that has not done anything to promote democracy in South Africa. I mean, in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia. That's it. That's it below the belt blue like he gave Trump and his cohorts. Yusuf Maruf says Kano has to go to prison because it will serve as an example for those behaving like untrained. No, I won't say that on air. Uh, Nelson Adufe says, BKO, I'm congratulating Nigerians for justice served in case of Kano and for those souls which were lost deserves it. Um, Nelson Adefe also saying that BKO, I believe if it would cost US troops to have boots on Nigerian soil, it should be with coordination of Nigerian trusted troops, not just that US should start dropping troops in Nigeria. Um, okay, too many comments here. People are just fighting. Samuel Sila says, I'm from Borno State, and Christians in Borno are many. Aren't those Chibok girls kidnapped Christians? Yeah, BKO has actually said the same thing. Okay, because we're out of time, I don't know whether you permit me to just okay, yeah, because you need to wrap. So Nnamdi Kanu on one side and Trump on the other side. In fact, some people have even said America's interest in Nigeria is not even about Christians because if it's about Christians, why is it that Trump, as you said, has not even increased their what's it called their condition? Look at Venezuela; he has killed several people. Some of them now turn out to be fishermen, claiming that they were drug pushers and it did not even allow Christians in Nigeria, it did not open up borders to them. I mean, for them to come into the US, United States. This is the same Trump who, this is the same United States who are interested in mineral resources because some people said we did not allow them to bring in Venezuelan refugees to Nigeria. We are joining BRICS, doing business. We are doing realignment, and that is making a whole lot of problem for the US. That's why during the Congress, they were talking about relationship with Nigeria. Is Nigeria ready for a relationship and all of that? So much so that they said the Christians they want to save in Nigeria are the iron ore, the cobalt, the rare earth, the oil, etc. your final thoughts on this, BKO?
Yes, of course. I think that our president has also not kowtowed to him. Um, Bullies want to be respected, want to be treated as special people. Trump is a global bully, and our president has not shown since he got into office that he could not do anything without Trump. He has put Trump at arm's length, and he has not shown Trump that he is important. And this is the sort of thing that they don't like. This same Trump went to accused the South African president wrongly, bringing pictures from Congo and trying to argue that those pictures were emanated from South Africa. You
South
know,
Africa.
so if you lied against South Africa, you are lying against Nigeria now. People should be able to see through this. And it's not everything that emanates from Trump or from America that is gospel truth. We have seen that in the way they treated Iraq. They lied against Iraq. They lied against the president of South Africa and the South African people. Now they've lied against Nigeria by saying 89% of Christians killed globally are from Nigeria and that they are killing people in thousands. Where are people being killed in thousands in our country? In thousands far. So this is the thing. People should understand that the Americans are mischievous. I appreciate a few of them who stood up to Trump and his people who have a horrific agenda against our country. They set the record
Yeah.
straight. They told the truth. But it will seem that they are in the minority, and Trump and his people continue to attack our nation, treat us with disdain, just because we are trying to build new alliances. We are reaching out to China. We are joining BRICS rather than treat America as a
Big brother.
big business partner. So things are changing, and Trump doesn't seem to like that. For Trump, it is my way or the highway, and we just need to continue to speak the truth to them and hope that there will be no need to send American troops to our country as he has threatened to do.
Right. We can only say that may the truth defeat the imposters and the liars, whether
Yes.
US or from within Nigeria. That's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade Otutoji, for those insightful analyses as always.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. It's probably one of the longest, if not the longest, show that we've
It's quite
had.
an interesting topic.
Yes, yes.
All right.
In Nigeria
Well,
prevail.
amen. Amen. And thanks to our audience for keeping our company on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Click on the subscribe button. TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News G. I'm also at Ibrahim_Shita. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.